George, where do you think the, go ahead. Sorry, George, where do you think the pass rush is right now on what you can be and what you guys have been to this point?
I think we got off to a little bit of a slow start the first couple of weeks, and I think we showed a little more this past week. So I think we're just going to keep on getting better like we have. As long as I've been here, we got trust in every single one of the guys in the D-line room, linebackers, whoever rushes the passer, and I think we're just going to keep getting better.
George, with Steve Spagnuolo and just kind of how he can evolve week by week, game plan wise, do you kind of marvel after the fact watching tape about how he takes away what opponents want to do?
Yeah, I mean, he's just like such a master at what he does, just in game planning, knowing kind of what the opponent's going to do, kind of, the game theory side of it, kind of, I think that he thinks that I'm going to do this type thing. He's really, really good at that. So he's incredible at just at game planning, putting guys in positions to make plays, playing to our strengths, and just awesome at what he does, and we've had a lot of success because of him.
And what kind of confidence does it give you knowing you got a guy like that that's going to put you guys in that spot?
Yeah, we know that, if we hold the opponent's offense to a certain amount of points, that we have a pretty good chance of winning because we got 15 of those guys on offense, right? And Spags emphasizes that every single offseason. So for us, it starts with that, obviously, and then, having confidence in Spags, we've been able to close out a lot of games with a lead and just continuing to do that. That's something we emphasize. It's putting the team on our shoulders when it needs to be, and, ultimately it's all about winning games for us. So.
Not your first game against Lamar Jackson. Just so what does it take to contain him?
It takes all 11, I can tell you that. We got so much respect for the dude. Not just him, but their whole offense. Really, their whole team. I mean, they're tough. They do stuff the right way. Lamar specifically is so athletic, but he's such an accurate quarterback. I don't think he gets enough respect for that. He really can do it all. I've talked about this before. He's one of those elite quarterbacks that really can do it all. I mean, he's MVP and all this stuff. So definitely a lot of respect for him. It's going to take everything we got to stop him. So.
George, you mentioned that the defensive line has been playing progressively better the last few weeks. How much of that do you think plays into the addition of guys like Ashton and Omar as young guys in that defensive line room that are getting more reps and making more of an impact game by game?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are young, they're hungry, they want to be great, and they've worked their tails off up to this point. I remember when I was a rookie, you kind of get better each and every week, and there's all this stuff going on when you're a rookie that you don't know, so you're just trying to figure everything out. But those guys, I mean, I commend them because they've done a phenomenal job, and just adding more and more stuff, and they've been awesome.
Derrick Henry, I mean, he's the one true big back in this league. How different is it when it seems like every other running back is like 5'8" to 5'11", 200 to 212, right? And
yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's the one big boy. Like how's the preparation different, and how much harder is it to bring him down?
Yeah, I mean, when you play a guy against that, you can't make any mistakes. If one guy's out of your gap, he's gone. So it's all about being detailed. In the run game, being detailed and executing your assignment, trusting the scheme, the coaching, your responsibility, and executing. So yeah, just like I said, he's a beast. He can make all the plays. He can make everything happen. Big runs, we want to avoid that, obviously, and just executing our scheme and playing to the best of our abilities.
He hasn't been a fumbler, but he's fumbled in each of the first 3 games.
Right.
There was a lot of tape of him, how upset he was. You got a guy on the ropes. Is that become an even bigger emphasis to try to get the ball out?
That's always an emphasis. I mean, we've played him enough to where we know that we have so much respect for him. We're not just expecting every time you're gonna punch the ball out, it's gonna be a fumble, just because of what's happened recently. But that's kind of our for every defensive player, I'd say across the league, there's been an emphasis on punching the ball, and we're gonna try to do that no matter who's the back. So.
Last one.
Yeah, George, when you're playing a guy like Lamar Jackson, and you have to flip your mindset a little bit in terms of how you're going to rush to keep him contained versus going.
Yeah, a little bit. Now it's even shifted a little bit since I've been a rookie, where it seems like every single quarterback we play is such a great athlete. So you gotta contain him. You gotta have your rush planes. You gotta come under control before you're ready to tackle him and all this stuff. He can. Because if you miss, he could make you pay. So, you got to be disciplined. Like I said, it all comes down to being disciplined and trusting your assignment and your coaching. That's what it's going to take. So,
Thanks, George.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, everyone.
appreciate you guys.